Coming up next on The Voice of Alabama Politics, Pearl is out. Also, what do Athens and Montgomery have in common? And there's a gambling feud in the AG's race.
And it looks as though we're in for a splendid afternoon sport on this, the 127th Upper Class Twit of the Year show. And there's a big crowd here today to see these prize idiots in action.
Ah, silly season for silly political twits. All this and much, much more coming up next on The V from Naxos, Greece. Welcome to The Voice of Alabama Politics, where we tackle the tough issues so you have the hard facts. I'm your host, Bill Britt, and as always, I'm joined by Susan Britt, research guru extraordinaire, and the one only, Josh Moon, columnist and investigative reporter at APR. Welcome.
Hi,
Hey
guys.
guys, y'all seem far away.
Just a little.
Well, just a little bit. We are in Naxos, Greece. Over here it's called Naxos, but we're in Naxos, Greece, the largest of the Cycladic islands, and just one of the most spectacular places on earth. The people here are, I mean, if you want to come on a family-friendly, beautiful vacation, this is the spot to come. I mean, there's plenty of nightlife and all that, but I mean, just beautiful people, sweet people. I mean, our hosts here are spectacular.
They are. I mean, they welcomed us into their family. We started out at the Angel Suites with Angel and his mother.
Yeah.
And then we got connected with his mother's cousins.
Yeah.
Family,
Yeah.
who are now staying with at the Estrias Studios with Alini and Stelio. I'm sorry. They're both behind the Biomi bar that we like. So it's not a restaurant. It's like we go get brunch there in the mornings. But I mean, the mothers come and check with us every morning and speak Greek to us and check our Greek and make sure we're good for the day.
This is not a paid political.
No, it is not. I'm just saying everything here is reasonably priced. But when they just, the whole community just opens their arms to you and just really, embraces you.
And
It's
Josh,
amazing.
I think you'll find this interesting. The island of Greece is about 6,000. The nation of Greece is about 6,000 islands. 200 of them are inhabited, but the landmass is about the same as Alabama. Now there's 10.5 approximately million people live here, and they run the government very much like Alabama does. They have a top-down government where everything is controlled from Athens, and if you want to do anything in the other places, where they have governors, basically, or city councils and all that, you got to go to the Athens, the legislature, the parliament, actually, and say, hey, we would like to pave this road.
Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds a lot like Alabama, and I would say that the only way we could do it dumber in Alabama is if we ran it through Athens, Alabama. So I think that's I see the similarities that you're speaking of.
Yeah. It was.
I mean, they control the ferry routes, the hospitals, the schools, everything, from Athens here.
Completely. And so when this is not the way government was supposed to run in the United States, not like this at all. Of course, we know Alabama decided to do this to protect the big planters, the big farmers, the big mules, big industry and all that. But
The white people.
they're just doing it here. Huh? What, Josh?
The white people. They did it to protect the white
Yes.
people.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Well, and the poor white people got screwed just as much as the blacks almost. But it was pretty bad. But, what we're seeing, and people over here noticing it, is that the intention of the United States was not to be controlled by D.C., but to be controlled by the states with, the representative government in D.C. But Josh, more and more we're seeing the Trump administration just tear down the walls of federalism and try to centralize power. And presidents have done that, of course, but they are really doing it and taking it to the next level.
Yeah, it's really surprising to see from the party that has screamed states' rights for as long as I've been alive, and really advocated for doing things at a state level, especially when it came to marginalizing certain groups of people. But no, you're right. It's as we've seen over the last little bit, Trump is all about power. That's the way he's been. Since day one, that's what he's trying to get is more power, and it's going to come at a cost to the states, and if you think Alabama is immune because we're a Trump-loving state that kind of kowtows to him, you're wrong. I mean, just look at our budgets. Look at what's happening right now. Look at how much money we're losing in terms of these federal budgets because of the way the Trump administration has planned on doing certain things.
And it really is old-timey centralized government that hurts the population, because a republic like ours, a federal society like ours, is supposed to keep the power as close to the people as possible, and then it spreads upwards from there. At least that's always been my understanding of it. But there's a Marx Brothers movie, called Horse Feathers, I think it is. No, Duck Soup, where Groucho takes over this country. And he said, if you think this place is in bad shape now, wait till I get through with it. And we're hearing, it was just interesting how the similarities between the two. One of the things we've noticed, and listen, this is just what we've observed. We've talked to people from Austria, we've talked to people from New Zealand and Australia, from Hamburg, Bavaria, from all over the world, and they are terrified at what is happening in the United States. They say that they feel like the whole world is being destabilized because of the control that Mr. Trump is exercising, not only in America, but in Europe and other parts of the world.
Well, you can tell that in the exchange rate here, because we're getting about 70 to 75 cents on a dollar.
Yeah.
We're losing money to the euro over here because of the instability of the United States right now.
And just 2 years ago, it was absolutely the reverse, right, Josh? I mean, you know that.
Yeah. It's the problem is the instability that he inspires, and that's kind of his trademark. You see it in the tariffs. You see it in the way that the kind of ham-handed way that he does a lot of governing, with the way he reverses himself at the drop of a dime, never really explaining things, the way he handles certain countries. It's like take the Russia-Ukrainian war right now. He's been pro-Russia for the most of his second term until last week when he met with Zelensky.
Yeah.
And God knows what happened in a private room between the two of them. But now all of a sudden he's on Ukraine's side, and he thinks that they can get all of their land back. And why? Who knows why? Maybe they made him a deal and he's going to get a couple of acres out of the thing. Who knows at this point? But that's the instability that drives people nuts.
And we were up in a village, on one of the highest mountains in the Cyclades, and we were talking to a man who has the most beautiful pottery made from the second hardest mineral on earth, which is only here on Naxos. And Susan said, "Well, can I buy this from you?" He said, "Yeah. I don't know when I can ship it to you, because we don't know if you're supposed to pay the tariff, or if we're supposed to pay the tariff, or who pays the tariff."
And he brought me the paperwork and said, "Look, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do."
Yeah, our government has sent us nobody knows what's going on. If you're shipping to America, we don't know what'll happen to your goods. I mean, that's over a whole country.
Yeah, no,
this
listen,
is just one
he tried
country.
He tried to charge penguins tariffs. Okay, I mean, this is who he is.
But our politicians in Alabama, Democrats and Republicans, don't say diddly squat about it. They just go along with it like it's it's just business as usual. I mean, I'm telling you. And look, you can love Mr. Trump. You can love President Trump. Excuse me. You can hate him, do whatever. What we're talking about is we're sitting here at the heart of, what used to be the democracy, the democratized civilization. And even today, we are the confusing ones. We are the ones that are making everybody go, what are you doing? And look, I know we don't base our policy in Alabama on what people are in Athens, but you know what? There's a lot of tourists here, and a lot of Americans come here, and they say that every American that comes here, well, we won't say what every American says that comes here, but it's just it's been a crowning experience of our lives to be here, and folks are just fantastic. Well, listen, we're gonna have to leave it right there. You're watching the voice of Alabama politics. We'll be right back.
Alabama has a hands-free driving law, and that means you can't hold your mobile phone while making a call. Oh, and no writing messages, recording, or watching videos either. Plus, you can only use a single button or swipe of a finger to answer a call. So what's a driver to do? Alabama's hands-free driving law is in effect. Follow it.
Your home is your most valuable asset. But what if someone tried to steal it from you? Property fraud is one of the fastest growing areas of fraud in the country today.
As a district attorney, I've seen firsthand the devastating effects of property fraud. That's why I'm proud to support the Montgomery County Probate Court's REACT program.
REACT is designed to protect your property and to give you peace of mind. By signing up, you'll receive an email notification if a document is filed against your property.
This program is a game changer. It has the potential to prevent fraud and protect countless homeowners throughout Montgomery County.
So don't wait. Sign up for REACT today and protect your home.
Protect your home with REACT. Sign up today.
Welcome back to the voice of Alabama politics. Josh, they are at it again. Jay Mitchell and Catherine Robertson are just slinging mud like, well, they were at Johnny's Bar and Grill, where they got, anyway, I won't go into that. But the biggest mud now they're slinging is not dark money, but who took gambling money and who didn't take gambling money. And obviously, from the records, Catherine Robertson took money from the Porch Creek Indians. So now we're relitigating the Bob Riley bingo wars nearly 20 years after they started. And they look foolish, I think. They truly, truly look foolish. But Josh, you've written about this. You know what's going on. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there was a donation that went out, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Porch Creeks offered donations to the folks in the AG's race. Just a lot of businesses do that. A lot of the more successful businesses, they back a number of different candidates in races at certain points, and just kind of spread money around to show their support, their general support for everybody. And so Catherine Robertson took a $10,000 donation from the Porch Creek Indians. Now, this was the Porch Creek Indians themselves. This is the tribe, not the gaming entity from the Porch Creeks. This was the tribe. And I understand that people have a hard time separating the two, and I get it. For years and years and years, this is what the Porch Creeks were known for here in the state of Alabama. But they've branched out beyond that. But what I hate is, number one, I hate that in this thing, Jay Mitchell, took a shot at Catherine Robertson, and that's fine. They've been taking shots back and forth at each other, and I think on this particular topic, neither one of them have a lot of leg to stand on. But he said in it that it was illegal gambling money. First of all, it's not illegal. The Porsche Creeks have never been illegal in any way, shape, or form. They've never been, okay? You know, they're sanctioned by the federal government. They're legal as can be. The second thing, he called it big gambling money, which I have no idea what even the hell that means. And the third thing in all this is this idea that you can't accept gambling, you can't accept money from an entity that makes money from gambling because you're going to have to, as AG, regulate that industry. Well, let me tell you something. The AG's office regulates all kinds of industry. Has Jay Mitchell taken any money, or has anybody in any races taken any money from 3M or any of the other companies that have been found to have polluted our rivers and lakes and streams and our land? You know, there's a middle school in Decatur that I went to middle school at that's no longer there because it was on the site of a toxic waste dump. Okay. Does anybody, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not even knocking 3M. Okay. They did what happened and everything. And they're perfectly within their rights to give money to people, and those candidates are perfectly within their rights to accept it. This idea that we have now that we're still promoting about gaming is so stupid and so backwards, and it's the reason why these political games are the reason why we don't have a comprehensive plan that's making us billions of dollars every year on the gaming that's already taking place in this state. And until people stand up and tell these people to stop this nonsense, it's going to continue.
And Susan, you know, there's another candidate in this race who isn't out there throwing mud or calling people out because of what donations they've taken or what they're doing, and that's Pamela Casey.
Yeah. In fact, just this week, over 50 DAs and law enforcement officers came out and endorsed her.
I mean, think about the fact that these two are seeking national endorsements from Braga or this one or that one, and meanwhile, Pamela Casey is wanting the endorsements from the people who know what the job is. Mm-hmm. I wonder if they know what the job is, because Pamela Casey does. And maybe voters, if she can get her message out, will want an AG that's more about doing the job than muckraking and just name calling. I mean, but anyway, we gotta
listen. I would love it. I would love it if some big business would get behind Pamela Casey, give her some money to get a message out about coming in and doing the damn job of an AG. Coming in and saying we're going to protect consumers, we're going to prosecute crime, we're going to prosecute white collar crime, we're going to go after politicians for political corruption, and we're going to return the AG's office to what it was prior to when Steve Marshall got there. And we're going to make sure that it is no longer this political position that just files lawsuits against whoever's in the White House or whatever other party is out there. That's what people should want.
And that's what we all should want. But that's not, the base gets all cranked up about gambling and Raga and who's ever giving endorsements on. We don't have time to talk about it now. But, you know, we lost $190 million from our health department because the federal government just came in and chopped their neck and didn't even tell them that they were chopping their neck.
No, they didn't. This was not part of what's been anticipated as far as the healthcare cuts. This was just overnight out of the blue.
We just ripped the money away, and so the hell with the health of the people of Alabama. Well, we're going to have to leave it right there. You're watching the voice of Alabama politics. We'll be right back.
Alabama has a hands-free driving law, and that means you can't hold your mobile phone while making a call. Oh, and no writing messages, recording, or watching videos either. Plus, you can only use a single button or swipe of a finger to answer a call. So what's a driver to do? Alabama's hands-free driving law is in effect. Follow it.
Welcome back to the voice of Alabama politics. Josh, for months we had hoped that Coach Bruce Pearl would come to the rescue and save us from the nincompoops who were running for the Senate. But this last week, he said, "Nah, I'm out of basketball and I'm not in politics." Is that the read we got here, or is there any possibility that there's any hope?
Yeah, it looks like the worst possible scenario for those of us who are Auburn fans. We lose Bruce Pearl, and he doesn't get into the Senate race and save everybody from what's going on there. Yeah, I mean, listen, I thought for sure that if he were going to step aside, that he was going to do so and get into the Senate race, because now's the time to do that. But apparently he has other plans, or maybe the polling wasn't what he thought it was going to be, or maybe he just didn't want to do it. I don't know. And so whatever it is, he certainly had made it clear. He stated pretty emphatically that he is not running for the Senate seat, that he has other plans, that he's accepted a different position as some sort of ambassador type role at Auburn, where he called himself an Auburn senator, and he's going to remain with the program and help his son out, and just kind of, I guess, be the fundraiser cheerleader kind of guy.
So we're going to have an Auburn senator, but we're going to have we had a Florida senator who's going to be an Alabama governor who we're supposed to call Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is this something
I think you got it right now.
Did I get that right? Okay. Anyway, not that I
think so, yeah. And there's also talk, that AJ McCarron's going to get into this race, and so we'll have.
That's what we've heard.
We could have had a former basketball coach as a senator, a former football coach as the governor. We could have had a former football player as lieutenant governor. And I don't know. As somebody said to me earlier, maybe we could get the Undertaker to run for something, or get Charles Barkley in to be AG. I mean, maybe we just spread it around. Why? We'll just go all into sports. We'll just go all into sports.
Well, I mean, and the thing is, that would be so Alabama. I mean, that would be. But I mean, this thing with AJ McCarron, if he decides to run, listen, I would run for lieutenant governor if I had his money, his age, and his looks, and his record. Run for Senate, baby.
Oh, yeah.
You'll get it.
You'll get it. Yep.
I think so. And there's a heck of a lot more.
I don't disagree with you. I mean, I think that I will say I have not heard. I've heard him speak on sports podcasts. I listen to a lot of the sports podcasts out there, and so I've heard AJ speak on a lot of different things. And he's a likable fellow, very knowledgeable about sports. I've not heard him talk so much about politics, and so I don't know how he comes off in that world. I'm assuming that he's had some conversations with some folks that will can coach him on those things, and so maybe he seems like a coachable guy, and maybe he's okay. I don't know.
I mean,
Can't get any worse.
I mean, basically, if you can speak the English language these days, and tie two sentences together, you can get elected to the
There's
Senate.
some of them that can't do that.
I mean, come on. I mean, how can it be? But I mean, seriously, this is still an open race, it appears. I do think there's going to be a dark horse. I'm still not convinced that we're just going to anoint Tommy Tuberville to be governor, and we may, and that's okay. I hope he does a great job, and I hope he's a great governor. You know what you're going to get if you get Steve Marshall. What you maybe don't know is what you're going to get if you get a Barrymore who becomes more senatorial and less like a flamethrower. Mm-hmm. He could make that transition. Mm-hmm. I've seen him become the guy that's wearing the Rolex, or maybe it's the X-Lax, I don't know, whatever watch, and come across as a smart guy and not the guy that's throwing flames. But we'll see. It's just, how come we can't get better candidates, Josh?
Well, because we don't have voters who demand better candidates. You know, we've spoken on our podcast, Alabama Politics This Week, to a number of folks who are running for office around the state now. You know, and they're from wherever, you know, in the various congressional districts and things. There's a lady running against Dale Strong up in North Alabama, and you know. She is, I mean, she's the epitome of a person that we should all want. She has multiple degrees. She's a doctor. She has worked at a private company in the defense industry in North Alabama. She is an auditor. As a profession, understands how budgets work, can articulate to you all of these different things. She's perfect for the congressional person for the Huntsville area. She won't. I mean, there's very little chance that people are going to vote for her because we've divided these things up into teams at this point. And I'll say this, and you won't hear me say it very often, but John Merrill had a very good column this week, an op-ed. That he spread around to a lot of different places. And he talked about in there what we get through the gerrymandering process that we've gone about, in which, there was a guy who predicted a long time ago that we were just going to end up doing this thing by party, and we would just decide everything in primaries. And that's what we're doing now. And it's harmful all the way around, because you don't have to build a coalition with people. You don't have to reach out across the aisles. You don't have to go out and recruit voters who think differently than you and listen to their problems and their concerns. And that's a huge problem for us.
Well, based on John Merrill's record as a public servant, I would vote for him hands down over the rest of them. I wouldn't care. He's a good public servant, and he's the best retail politician Alabama's got. Probably Katie Britt would run neck and neck.
Yeah, I would think so.
I think that's true. But listen, the voters will decide. Let's just hope they actually will get out and vote. There's a whole lot of runway before this flight lands. But listen, we thank you for watching us. We're in Naxos trying to learn and experience and to get back to the roots of democracy. I want to thank you for watching us. Josh, thank you for always being here. And as always, you've been watching the voice of Alabama politics. You watch us because we watch them.